October 11th, 2025, episode 605. This is episode 605. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Shall we? Ex-Western Massachusetts man accused of impersonating cop killed by Oklahoma police.
An apartment complex near Yukon turned crime scene Wednesday after troopers say a suspect, David Allen Rawson, was trying to pull people over in his car, acting like an officer.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm happy that this happened, because that wouldn't be true at all. But this is what you get. I knew this was coming when they busted that Salvation Army security guard, Mezzi Scaletta, that things were hitting a boiling point and eventually somebody was going to lose their life behind this. Who wants to be a police officer anyway? They don't pay anything. It's a thankless job. Oh, I want to help the people. Screw the people. Oh, I want to protect people. That's what Batman and the Second Amendment is for. The only time anyone is happy to see a person in a police uniform is when that person is a stripper. After attempted means you failed, to impersonate a police officer and drawing his weapon when real police confronted him, what did he think was going to happen? A former Western Massachusetts man was shot and killed in Oklahoma earlier this month. On October 1st, Oklahoma Highway Patrol responded to a report that a man was impersonating a police officer. Nobody wants to impersonate Elvis or Michael Jackson anymore. Something safe. They want to impersonate police officers. That's the trend. They found David Allen Rawson, 62, at the White Horse Apartments in Yukon, Oklahoma, and attempted to take him into custody. Attempted means he failed. According to Sarah Stewart, public information officer for the state police in the Sooner State.
That's when reports say Rawson said he was in an undercover car and was an off-duty federal agent. Reports show Rawson said he'd be issuing citations to her for her driving. Now, more than 2 months later, an off-duty officer was following the car Rawson was in, and law enforcement stopped him to question him. Officials say Rawson pulled a gun in the direction of an Oklahoma City police officer. That's when shots were fired from other agencies, killing him.
So he lied to the lady and told her that he was a federal agent, and federal agents can pull people over. They're well within their rights to do so. But will they? If you're a federal agent, you're on your way to escort a prisoner. You're on your way to assist in the search for a kidnapped child. More than 9 times out of 10, that is not at the top of your list of priorities to chase someone down and play traffic cop. At the very, very most, they might take your license plate and report you to local authorities. Maybe. During a scuffle, what was he telling them? Same side, man, same team. The suspect drew a weapon in the direction of an Oklahoma City police officer. The trooper and a Yukon police officer discharged their firearms, killing the suspect, Stewart said, and that's that. Home in time for dinner. In July, Oklahoma court records show Rawson was charged with a criminal misdemeanor in July for identity theft. The Massachusetts court docket showed that Rawson had previously impersonated a police officer in Chicopee in 2005. Why do you keep doing this? Neither the court nor the Chicopee Police Department could provide a police report.
Oklahoma court records show there was a warrant out for this man's arrest for a report from July where Rawson allegedly acted like an officer after a traffic dispute. The report says a woman honked at Rawson after he was in her blind spot and cut her off. But when she stopped at a red light after honking, she says he got out of the car and beat on her window. The report says the woman drove away out of fear, but she claims he followed her more than 4 miles home.
This story just validates my theory that these people are just a bunch of bullies who impersonate police officers in order to chase people down and intimidate them. They get off on it. Isn't 62 a little ripe to still be playing cops and robbers? Is that how you really want to run out the last minutes of the clock? What, the kids left the nest? Now you can finally pursue your dream of being in law enforcement? Too bad, hips, loose bowels, and glaucoma. Evil beware. In Oklahoma, the punishment is $100 or imprisonment. So basically for $100, you can fake being a police officer. That's the problem now. The penalties nationwide just aren't strict enough. Nobody takes them serious, not even the people that's pulling legislation for this type of stuff. Using one's vehicle claiming it is a police vehicle bears a $1,000 fine or imprisonment for a year. Nothing. According to the state statutes, the penalty in the Bay State is Massachusetts, for impersonating a justice of the peace or other peace officers is not more than $400 or imprisonment for a year. That's why the cops in Minnesota, the law enforcement in Minnesota, are shaken up about this, because not too long ago, someone impersonated a police officer and killed some politicians behind this. Rawson's July misdemeanor in Oklahoma was dismissed Tuesday because of his death. Isn't that considerate? Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Do you think the penalties should be much harsher for people who impersonate police officers? 550-pound New York lawyer, they said it like they were weighing a whale, allegedly stalked mistress, blasted out revenge porn after breakup.
Why would a woman as fine as you be interested in a big, fat, greasy, bloated, gelatin ass motherfucker? What's the attraction to this man? Plus, he's married too. What is that?
Apparently, being the biggest lawyer on Long Island has absolutely nothing to do with caseload. What was he doing? Snacking on his clients? Is this who Jadakiss was talking about when he said he had a hungry lawyer that will eat the case? Because this guy looks like, with a little salt, pepper, oregano, he'd eat both the prosecutor and the witnesses also, or at least he'd try. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the Pac-Man of the New York court system. He did this with a heavy heart. I love the New York Post. A smelly, morbidly obese, married Long Island lawyer allegedly tormented his much younger lover for years, setting up cameras in her apartment, a tracker in her car, and a keystroke recorder on her computer. Ronald David Ingber allegedly manipulated the Bergen County woman until she was isolated from her family and dependent on him, a textbook manipulation technique to get you away from your support system, then blasted out sexual photos and videos of her to her friends and family when she tried to leave. They were probably more happy that she was finally leaving your big ass than anything. She said in a lawsuit, "You know what? Don't touch our Jersey women. Next time you come over here, get your 85 pounds of pork roll and orbit your way back to Long Island." You mean to tell me old tugboats can come up with all this, but he can't put a weight loss program together, a carb counter, a time meal dispenser? He looks like he's constantly preparing for a hibernation that never comes. Now, ladies, it's your thing. Do what you want to do, but the discomfort to pleasure ratio, the energy expenditure to pleasure ratio, sleeping with white Dookie over here, is the juice even worth the squeeze? He looks like he's one meatball parm away from setting up the deep fryer next to his bedside. Having sex with Ingber 52 was not easy, no. According to the victim, identified in Brooklyn federal court papers only as Jane Doe, at more than 550 pounds, Ingber had difficulty cleaning himself. Yeah, because the only range of motion his arms are familiar with is hand to mouth, causing the accuser to develop painful boils following sexual activity. At 550 pounds, that's like a 3-on-1. That's like a gangbang weight-wise, the 37-year-old said in court papers. The duty was not an easy or enjoyable one, I bet it wasn't, between the smells and the rashes. She also accused the father of two of giving her herpes. Jesus Christ. The pair met online in 2018 with Ingber Nacho Man Randy Snackage claiming he was in the midst of divorcing his wife. Jane Doe said, "Now you do not want this man leaving his wife for you so you can get stuck taking care of 550 pounds at 50 plus years old doing the heavy lifting, literally and figuratively. You were supposed to let him keep his wife and let her do whatever the hell she signed up for so you could get the perks of being the mistress, the sugar baby, whatever the hell it is. Never takes you to dinner and dancing, never takes you to dinner and a movie. It's always dinner and dinner and dinner. Just looking at him, you could tell being married to a man of that enormity would be nothing but a life of service. And I don't mean service in the traditional marital sense of the term. I'm talking about like a live-in nurse, and he's never going to die. He's only going to get fatter and hungrier, and you'll be all alone hauling wheelbarrows of chicken cutlets with pudding to wash it down with up to his room, hoping the dog doesn't get caught in between his feedings again. Ingber monitored, manipulated, and controlled every aspect of her life, even bizarrely convincing her that they were under criminal investigation in New Jersey for what? Cold cut trafficking? And that he would protect her, according to the lawsuit. Ingber's covert surveillance was extensive and inescapable, she said in legal papers. When she tried to move out or end the relationship, which dragged on for 4 years of sleeping with this mountain of a man, Ingber would convince her that he was her only ally, even though he was actually the one responsible for her misery. That's really messed up. He hacked their devices, she said, with access to her email. Ingber or someone acting on his behalf. I think it was someone acting on his behalf. He doesn't have time to hack all this stuff between meals. Began interfering with cell phones, enabling him to view outgoing and incoming phone calls, delete photographs, and access and delete other content. The woman claims Ingber continues to send her unhinged messages. I don't know how she did it. All I can picture is Lois Griffin being stuck in the mattress after a night of gross sex with old tugboats here, then coming downstairs in the morning to see him eating a kitchen sink full of Rice Krispies with a small shovel. She is tired of hiding from Ingber. If you really want to keep him at bay, just wear some vegetables around your neck, and desperately seeks the ability to move through her life freely and without the constant fear that he is tracking her. The accuser is seeking $150,000 per illicit image sent out by Ingber. If he's in any of those pictures, then it should go to $300,000 easy, along with the unspecified damages for invasion of privacy and intentional infliction of emotional distress. A lawyer for Ingber vehemently denied the allegations. He's not going to confirm the allegations. He wouldn't be doing his job if he did. Mr. Ingber flatly denies there is nothing flat about you, sir. Each of these patently false claims, and is confident that a full litigation of this matter will expose Miss Doe, who strategically identified, targeted, and aggressively pursued Mr. Ingber, attorney Richard Portal said in a statement. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. He's not even pleasantly plump. You couldn't just be happy with having a little piece of slim trim on the side. Much like your gargantuan appetite, sir, a little is never enough. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Caesar Beats. Get your music from Caesar Beats. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my socials. I'll leave the contact information up here at the top. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. Find me wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I am there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. The pair met online in 2018 with Ingber Nacho Man Randy Snackage. Never takes you to dinner and dancing, never takes you to dinner and a movie. It's always dinner and dinner and dinner.